Continuing our ongoing series focused on gems, we're putting the spotlight on the midriff rock infusion with the self-deprecating sense of humor. As always, we'll be looking at the character's personality, powers, and muse over what real-life facts and influences could have peppered into their creation. I'm Chris Carr, and today I want to talk to you about Smoky Quartz from Steven Universe. Before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors on Patreon, especially our super nerd sponsor of the day, Devin Elliott. Thanks to gems like Devin, we get to keep sharing Steven Universe videos with you, and you help keep our little band of nerds here at NerdWire afloat. If you want to pitch in, head on over to our Patreon page and see if a donation tier works for you. We'll thank you with shoutouts, patches, behind-the-scenes looks, and more. If donations aren't your thing, but you do like spending money, then click that link to TeePublic in the description. They have so many cool Steven Universe shirts for you to nab. On to Smoky Quartz.
Hey, I'm Smoky Quartz. Nice to meet you. Oh, what?
Smoky Quartz first appears in the Season 3 episode, Earthlings, when Amethyst and Steven fuse, making this the first fusion Steven has ever been a part of. Well, I mean, aside from his, everyday existence, I guess. Smoky Quartz is a roly-poly gem that I think is just adorable. They have 3 arms, with 2 arms stemming from the same elbow.
Oh, I can lick my elbow. I have 3 of them now.
This seems to be one of the more polarizing designs among fans. A quick hop on Reddit shows you that people either really dig the design or are horrified by the idea of joints working this way. Because the elbow, it freaks them out.
No.
It makes a lot of people very uncomfortable.
I think that's cool. I wish I had 2 arms.
What would you do? Mostly yo-yoing, obviously, but what would you do with your other arm?
Just double slap people.
That's my boss!
Feel my unbridled rage!
Personally, I think the 3 arms reflects the relationship between Steven and Amethyst. Their relationship is so unique because they're the odd gems out. Amethyst feels like she's the worst gem. Steven, back when mom was just rose quartz to everyone, felt like he'd never live up to his mother's legacy. They're the weird or defective gems, so their friendship is all about them embracing the weird. They don't fit the mold that gems typically fit, and this fusion physically embodies that. They're kind of awkward and completely unique. So being the first gem with an odd number of arms makes total sense to me. Being not like everyone else is what led these 2 to fuse in the first place. When Amethyst confides in Steven that she'll never be strong enough to take on Jasper, the 2 embrace and boom, fusion. As Smoky Quartz, they're easily able to defeat Jasper.
It's cool if you don't like it. I've already got 3 huge fans.
Smoky Quartz is a blend of both Steven and Amethyst's personalities. They're fun, funny, and easily excited. Creator Rebecca Sugar describes them as being a big happy kid. Despite their typically carefree attitude, their self-deprecating sense of humor, like what we see in the episode Know Your Fusion, has led many fans to joke about Smoky Quartz's fusion power being crippling self-doubt and depression.
0. Guess I'm a real bozo.
I think if we're to look at the components here, that sense of humor makes sense. As I mentioned before, and have spoken about in our other fusion-focused videos, fusions are a blend of their counterparts. It only makes sense that Steven and Amethyst, 2 self-conscious beings who are filled with anxiety and doubt, would try to use humor to navigate their emotions and perceived shortcomings. In the Steven Universe podcast, Michaela Dietz mentioned how Smoky Quartz first appears at an incredibly low point for Steven and Amethyst.
So stop leaving me out of this. Us worst gems stick together, right?
That's why we're the best.
They are literally born out of a bond over being bad gems. It's only natural that Smoky would represent them literally reaching out to one another for help and figuring out how to feel about their shortcomings. So yeah, let's laugh and make jokes till we can make sense of who we are and what we're capable of. And honestly, y'all, what did you want them to do while Sardonyx was trying to uncover their secret fusion power? Cry over not being good at those tests? When their self-esteem is completely kaput, they definitely express how disappointed they are in themselves, going as far as to say they're just one big, super wrong, good-for-nothing dud with a yo-yo. Does Smoky Quartz need a boost in the old self-esteem department? Heck yeah! But I think it makes sense for this character, this fusion, to be in their feelings and navigate those emotions through jokes.
They say 2 wrongs don't make a right. I guess I'm living proof that that's true.
They're the culmination of 2 characters who've learned to accept the things that make them insecure as their strengths. Speaking of the blending of 2 characters, I've got to talk about how perfect the voice work is for Smoky Quartz. Natasha Lyonne truly sounds like a blend of Amethyst and Steven's voices, and she just crushes the voiceover. She lands the insecurity, she makes the jokes not sound too try-hard, giving Smokey this mix of laid back and high energy that just makes the character sing.
Time to stop that roller coaster.
sometimes you save all the people, but the roller coaster still crashes into the ocean.
I could not stop laughing the first time I heard, and this one is dog walking just my day job until I get that callback. She truly gives the character so much life. I'm always floored by how great the cast is on this show. Smoky Quartz has your standard set of gem abilities, like enhanced durability and strength. They have unique speed powers in that they can regulate their descent and rapidly spin like a top. As we've learned from Steven Universe Future, Steven now has this almost Super Saiyan-like power brought on by stress and emotion where he'll glow bright pink.
I won't let you get away with this!
So far, this has been shown to include increased strength, speed, and power. While fused into Smoky Quartz with Amethyst, the pink glow allowed for super speed fast enough for the rest of the world to appear in slow motion.
Okay, time to go. Here you go.
This is likely due to Steven's visceral reaction to stress. When that roller coaster is about to go off the tracks and Smoky Quartz panics, thinking they won't make it in time, that pink glow spreads around them, allowing them to start moving with that Speed Force level of speed. Time actually stands still, which, if we really want to push all the metaphors going into Steven's mental health, is exactly how you feel when you're feeling overwhelmed or in the midst of a panic attack.
Right, yeah, okay,
Regardless of whether or not this new power is there to amplify how Steven's feeling, or is just a sweet new move, I think we all can agree this is one of the cooler fusion powers we've ever seen in the series. Basically stop time, or at least move through time like they're the Flash, zooming on in as everything is very slow. Like when they're on the roller coaster. I love that one.
Dude, what was that? It was like everything was in slow motion because we were going so fast!
The best thing about Smoky Quartz, though, that weapon! Steven's shield and Amethyst's whip combine to form a yo-yo that they use to swing from and attack their foes with. And thanks to that third arm, Smoky Quartz can use 3 yo-yos at a time. How there are 3 yo-yos, I do not know. That math does not add up. Just like Amethyst's whip, the yo-yo can be used to grab objects. It can even be used to create a net strong enough to hold a biplane, as we see in Guidance. The yo-yo is the first crystal gem weapon that doesn't seem to come from the Middle Ages. This will be the first unique weapon we see thanks to Steven being part of the fusion mix. In his other fusions, when he forms like Sunstone, they form suction cups. He's a weird dude who thinks outside the box and doesn't really want to harm anyone. It makes sense his weapons would seem to follow that as well. Do you know any yo-yo tricks, Brett? Because I don't know any yo-yo facts. No. I used to be able to do the walk the dog one. Yeah, and you do the back and forth stuff?
Not really.
No?
Shoot the sky.
What's shoot the sky?
Shoot the star, or whatever.
You just, up?
Yeah.
You just start knocking out lights.
Yeah, you throw it in the air, it comes right.
Just, we should have brought a yo-yo to set. Nothing bad could have happened.
Is fusion the only trick you crystal gems know?
I've got plenty of tricks. Ever see Sink the Dink?
What's really interesting to me is where some of the yo-yo inspo came from. According to Rebecca Sugar's Tumblr, a lot of the yo-yo moves were based on the tricks yo-yo master Tom Black performs with Cirque du Soleil. There's a Cirque du Soleil guy who just yo-yos?
That makes sense.
What do the French do? Man, have you ever seen those shows? They're wild.
Yeah, a lot of contortionists.
I like it. I saw, it's the water one. It was nuts. When we look at other real-world influences that could have impacted this fusion, we obviously have to look at the actual gem, Smoky Quartz. This quartz varietal also goes by the name Morian, and comes in various shades of brown, gray, and black. The stone is dense and very common, and was often used by the Scottish to decorate kilt pins. This gem is extremely common, so it doesn't have much historical significance. It's been used in everything from jewelry to early attempts at sunglasses in 12th century China. This definitely makes sense for our fusion, as so many of Steven and Amethyst's personal insecurities are negated by joining forces. The self-deprecating humor definitely can be seen as a negative thing though, right? So, I guess I'll leave it up to you guys on where this one falls. Is this like other gems we've seen, where the crystal healing power of the gem is the opposite of the character, or does it all line up? Let me know if there's anything I missed about Smoky Quartz, and how you feel about the character in the comments below. Thanks again to everyone on Patreon, to TeePublic, and all of you Steven Universe fans who found this video. For more, click to the left. Thanks for watching. See you, Space Cowboy.